there is a strange and quiet ache that settles in the space after a good thing ends. It's a familiar heaviness, a silence that isn't peaceful, but full of unasked questions. It's the feeling of watching a beautiful sandcastle you were building get washed away by a wave. A wave you, on some level, called to the shore yourself. You can feel the ghost of warmth where a hand was held, the echo of laughter from a moment of pure joy, the sense of possibility that was blooming just hours before. And now, there is only the aftermath. A quiet room, a silent phone, a finished project you can't seem to enjoy. And within this quiet, a deeper, more confusing question begins to stir. Why? Why does the arrival of happiness so often feel like the beginning of its end? Why does a part of us seem to work so diligently to dismantle the very peace, the very love, the very success we long for? This isn't a journey about fighting that part of you. This is not a war against the saboteur within. Instead, it is an invitation to finally sit down with it, to listen to its story, and to understand the profound and protective reasons it learned to break things you love. It's a journey toward a quiet and lasting peace, a peace that can hold happiness without fearing its collapse. And so, as you settle in now, wherever you are in the world, in the deep quiet of the late night or the restless hours before dawn, allow this time to be entirely yours. Let your body begin to release the tension of this old conflict. Feel the muscles in your jaw, which may have been clenched for years in anticipation of the other shoe dropping, finally begin to soften. Notice the shoulders, which have carried the weight of holding everything together and pushing good things away at the same time. Allow themselves to drop, to release their heavy burden. Let the breath move a little deeper into your stomach, into that place that so often tightens with the first sign of joy, as if bracing for impact. With each exhale, you are giving your body permission to let go of the fight. You are signaling to every cell that for this time, right now, there is no threat to guard against, no happiness to be suspicious of, no need to stand watch. The only intention here is understanding. The only goal is a gentle homecoming. We are setting out to discover that the part of you that undoes your happiness is not a monster. It is not a flaw. It is, in fact, a profoundly loyal protector, a guardian who learned a long time ago, in a world that perhaps felt unsafe, that joy was a risk. It learned that vulnerability was dangerous, and that the highest point of happiness was often followed by the deepest fall. And so, it developed a strategy, a painful but understandable one. If a fall is inevitable, it is safer to jump than to be pushed. It is less heartbreaking to let go of something yourself than to have it snatched away unexpectedly. This protector has been working tirelessly, using old tools and outdated maps to keep you safe from a kind of pain it never wants you to feel again. It breaks the connection before you can be abandoned. It whispers doubts into your success before someone else can criticize it. It finds the flaw in a peaceful moment before that peace can be shattered by the outside world. And tonight, we are not going to banish this protector. We are going to thank it for its service. We are going to gently and lovingly help it to understand that the world has changed, that you have changed, that you are stronger now, more resilient, and that you are finally ready to learn a new definition of safety. A safety that doesn't require the absence of joy, but is found in your ability to hold it. A safety that is rooted in your own worth, not in the unpredictable nature of the world. As you lie here, sinking deeper into the surface that supports you, feel the truth of this intention settling into your bones. The intention is not to fix something that is broken, because you are not broken. The intention is to integrate a part of you that has been left out in the cold, standing guard for far too long. Imagine for a moment that this inner conflict is like a constant, low-grade static in your energy field. It's the background hum of anxiety that says, don't get too comfortable, don't relax too much, it won't last. This static drains your energy. It makes true rest feel impossible because a part of you is always on high alert. Happiness arrives, and the static gets louder, more insistent, warning you of the impending danger. Peace feels like the eerie calm before a storm. Love feels like a beautiful, fragile glass object that you're terrified of dropping. So you end it. You subtly push it away. You find the fault. You create the distance, just to make the static quiet down again, to return to the familiar, manageable ache of absence rather than the terrifying vulnerability of presence. Tonight, we are turning the dial down on that static. With every breath, you are creating more space, more quiet. In this quiet, a new voice can emerge, a voice of wisdom that knows you are capable of holding joy, a voice of compassion that understands why you've been so afraid, a voice of strength that knows you can handle the blessings that are meant for you. Let your body feel the relief of this new possibility, the possibility that happiness isn't a peak to be scaled and fallen from, but a wide, peaceful valley you can inhabit, a place you can live, a place you can call home. Feel the tension leaving your forehead, the space between your eyebrows smoothing out. Feel your hands, which may have been unconsciously curled into fists, ready to push away or to brace for a fall, now opening. Palms up, receptive, willing to receive. This is the beginning of a new inner agreement, a peace treaty signed between the part of you that craves light and the part that fears it. As you drift and float in this comfortable darkness, allow yourself to simply hold the question without needing an immediate answer. What if it's finally safe to be happy? What if the worst has already happened and you survived? What if your capacity for joy is actually far greater than your capacity for pain? Let these questions hang in the air around you, not as problems to be solved by your thinking mind, but as seeds being planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. They will take root as you rest. They will grow in the quiet sanctuary of your sleep. And you will begin to awaken, slowly and gently, to a new reality. A reality where your own hand is the one that reaches out to steady the beautiful things in your life, not the one that pushes them away. A reality where you can finally come home to yourself and trust the goodness you find there. Rest in this intention. Let it be the gentle current that carries you towards sleep. There is nothing else for you to do right now. Simply be here and let the healing begin. Let's begin now by simply observing. Not judging, not fixing, not changing anything at all. Just observing, as if you were watching a story unfold on a screen. A story that is played out many times, in many different ways, but always with the same quiet ending. We are going to name this pattern, not to give it more power, but to finally see it for what it is: a learned sequence of events, a habit of the heart, and nothing more. Think of a time, recently or long ago, when a good thing began to enter your life. It could have been the beginning of a new relationship, where the connection felt easy and genuine. It might have been a new opportunity at work, something that truly excited you and aligned with your passions. Or perhaps it was something simpler, a period of calm, a few days or weeks where things just felt right, peaceful, stable. In the beginning of this good thing, there's often a sense of brightness, of hope, a feeling of expansion. You might feel lighter, more open. This is the first act of the story, the approach of happiness. Just allow yourself to remember that feeling, the warmth of it, the promise it held. Now, let's watch closely, with immense compassion for the person in this story. As the good thing continues, as the connection deepens, as the success becomes more real, a subtle shift occurs. A new feeling begins to surface, quietly at first, like a single, dissonant note in a beautiful melody. It is a feeling of unease, a tightness, a quiet hum of anxiety that starts in the background. The mind begins its work. Is this real? When will the other shoe drop? This is too good to be true. Suddenly, you are no longer simply experiencing the joy. You are now managing it, watching it, waiting for it to betray you. This is the second act, the rising unease. It's the feeling of holding your breath, waiting. The protector we spoke of has been activated. It has sensed the vulnerability of an open heart, the risk of a hopeful spirit, and it has come online to scan for danger. It remembers past hurts and overlays them onto the present moment, creating a filter that makes it almost impossible to see the goodness for what it is. And then comes the crucial turning point. The unease becomes too much to bear. The tension of waiting for an external force to ruin things is unbearable. And so, the protector takes action, believing it is doing you a great service. This is the third act, the subtle act of sabotage. It rarely looks like a dramatic conscious decision. It is far more clever, more insidious than that. It is the critical word spoken to a loving partner, injecting a tiny poison of doubt into a moment of closeness. It is the sudden and inexplicable urge to pull away, to cancel plans, to create distance where there was once intimacy. In your work, it is the missed deadline on the project that meant the most. It is the sudden focus on all your perceived inadequacies, right when you are on the verge of being recognized for your strengths. It is procrastination that feels like laziness, but is actually a deeply intelligent, protective mechanism designed to prevent you from rising too high, and thus falling too far. In a moment of simple peace, it is the mind that latches onto a worry about the future, chewing on it until the quiet joy of the present moment is completely devoured. You find a flaw in the perfection. You start a conflict. You withdraw your energy. You do something, anything, to release the unbearable tension of simply receiving and holding on to something good. And this leads to the final act, the familiar result. The relationship becomes strained. The opportunity is lost. The peace is shattered. And in their place comes a feeling that is, in its own strange way, a relief. It is the heavy, aching comfort of a self-fulfilling prophecy. See? The protector whispers. I told you it wouldn't last. It's a good thing we ended it on our own terms. We are safe again. You are back in a familiar landscape, a territory of longing or loneliness that, while painful, feels manageable, predictable. You are no longer vulnerable to the shock of unexpected loss, because you have orchestrated the loss yourself. Just notice this cycle. See it without blame. See it as a pattern, a dance with 4 steps that you have learned so well. You can do it with your eyes closed. The approach of happiness, the rising unease, the subtle sabotage, the familiar result. Acknowledging this pattern also means acknowledging the profound exhaustion of living this way. Can you feel, deep in your bones, how tiring this is? The energy it takes to constantly be on guard against your own joy. The confusion of wanting something so badly with one part of your being, while another part works tirelessly to push it away. This inner war is depleting. It can leave you feeling cynical, hopeless, and deeply isolated, believing that there is something uniquely wrong with you. But tonight, as you rest here, let this truth sink in. There is nothing wrong with you. You are a human being who has learned a very clever, albeit painful, survival strategy. The pattern makes sense. Witness, for a moment, how this same core pattern wears different costumes in different areas of your life. In your friendships, it might look like not reaching out, assuming you're a burden, and thus creating the very distance you fear. When it comes to your health, it might be starting a new, positive routine, feeling good for a week, and then finding a reason to stop, because the consistency of feeling well is unfamiliar and therefore unsettling. Even in the smallest moments, receiving a genuine compliment and immediately deflecting it, or feeling a surge of creative inspiration and telling yourself it's not a good idea, the pattern is there. It is the guardian at the gate of your heart, whose only job description is to turn away anything that might lead to a future hurt, and it has come to mistake joy itself as the primary threat. By naming this cycle, by observing it without judgment, we are doing something revolutionary. We are separating you, your true self, from the pattern. The pattern is not you. It is a mechanism, a program running in the background. And any program can be understood, updated, and rewritten. Tonight, you are not trying to delete the program. You are simply opening the code. You are looking at the lines that were written long ago with the ink of fear and the logic of survival. And you are seeing them, perhaps for the very first time, with the gentle, compassionate eyes of the wise adult you are today. There is no shame in this code. It is a testament to your resilience. It is the story of how you learned to protect yourself in a world that felt unpredictable. And the very act of seeing it, of naming it gently, is the beginning of your freedom from it. Let the weight of this awareness be soft. Let it be a blanket of understanding, not a stone of judgment. You are just noticing. You are just seeing. And in this clear, calm seeing, the first small space for a new choice begins to appear. Let's go a little deeper now into the physical experience of this pattern. The mind tells a story, but the body holds the truth. When happiness begins to knock on your door, before the mind even has a chance to formulate its worries, the body often reacts first. It remembers. It is a living library of every experience you have ever had, and it keeps a meticulous record of what has led to pain in the past. So, bring your awareness into your physical self, into the sensations that arise when something good happens. We are just exploring with gentle curiosity. Imagine that moment again. A partner looks at you with pure, unconditional love. You receive an email with the good news you've been hoping for. You wake up on a Saturday morning with no obligations, just a feeling of peace and possibility. What is the very first thing you feel in your body? For many, it is not a pleasant expansion. Instead, it is a sudden, sharp contraction, a tightening. It can feel like a fist clenching around your heart, a protective shield slamming down over your most vulnerable place. Your chest might feel constricted, as if you can't take a full, deep breath. It's as if the body is saying, "Don't let this in too far. It isn't safe to be this open." This physical response is not a choice. It is an automatic, deeply ingrained reflex, like pulling your hand away from a hot stove. Your nervous system, conditioned by past events, has learned to associate the vulnerability of happiness with the imminent threat of pain. Joy, to this part of your nervous system, feels exactly like danger. Notice also what happens in your stomach. It might twist into a knot. A feeling of dread might begin to pool in your gut. This is the ancient, instinctual brain reacting. It's the feeling of waiting for the other shoe to drop, made physical. It's the body bracing for an impact that the mind has predicted. This sensation is incredibly powerful. It can feel so real, so visceral, that it convinces you the threat is real, even when there is no external evidence for it. The body screams, "Danger," and the mind scrambles to find a reason, a story, to explain the physical alarm bells. It starts searching for the flaw, the inevitable problem, the reason why this happiness is doomed. And it will always find one, because it is looking for it. Beneath these more intense sensations, there is often a subtle, foundational belief that has become encoded in the tissues of your body. It is the belief that joy is fragile, temporary, a fleeting visitor that will soon leave, and its departure will be painful. It's like holding a beautiful soap bubble in your hands. You are so captivated by its shimmering colors, yet you are acutely aware that at any moment it will pop, leaving you with nothing. This belief makes it almost impossible to relax into happiness. You cannot surrender to the moment because you are too busy anticipating its end. You are not in the experience. You are hovering above it, watching it, waiting for it to break. And the tension of this hypervigilance is exhausting. It is from this place, a profound physical tension and a deeply held belief in the fragility of joy, that the impulse to sabotage is born. And here is the crucial insight. The impulse to sabotage is actually an impulse to control. When you are passively waiting for an unknown force to take your happiness away, you feel powerless. You are a victim of fate, of circumstance, of other people's choices. This feeling of powerlessness can be more terrifying than the loss itself. And so, a part of you rises up and says, "No, I will not be a victim. I will be the one who decides when and how this ends." Ending the goodness yourself is a desperate, brilliant attempt to reclaim a sense of agency in a situation that feels terrifyingly out of your control. If you are the one who pushes love away, you are not the one who was left. If you are the one who fails to seize the opportunity, you are not the one who was rejected. If you are the one who shatters the peace, you are not the one whose peace was shattered by an external blow. It is a preemptive strike. You control the narrative. You control the timing. You control the pain. The pain is still there, of course, but it is a familiar pain, a pain of your own making, which the nervous system often prefers over the shocking, unpredictable pain that comes from the outside world. This normalizes the impulse, doesn't it? It's not a crazy, self-destructive urge. It is a profoundly logical, albeit misguided attempt to manage an unbearable feeling of vulnerability and impending doom. It is an attempt to choose the lesser of two perceived evils. Think about it this way. Imagine you are walking on a high wire. The joy is in the walking, the balance, the view. But you are convinced that at any moment, a strong gust of wind will come and blow you off, sending you into a terrifying, uncontrolled fall. The anxiety of waiting for that wind is immense. So, you decide to jump. The fall is still scary, and the landing still hurts, but you chose it. You were in control. That is what the saboteur within you is doing. It is choosing to jump rather than risk being pushed. It believes it is saving you from a more traumatic fall. What it doesn't realize, and what we are here to gently teach it, is that you are not on a high wire. You are on solid ground, and what it mistakes for a gust of wind is often just the gentle breeze of life. It also doesn't realize that you have grown stronger. You have learned things. You are more resilient now. You could handle a gust of wind. You could regain your balance. And even if you did fall, you have the capacity to get back up, to heal your wounds, and to walk again. The protector is working from an old script, from a time when you were smaller, more vulnerable, and perhaps the falls were much more damaging. So, as you rest here, allow yourself to feel these physical sensations without needing them to go away. Just notice the tightness in your chest. Acknowledge the knot in your stomach. Feel the tension in your shoulders. And instead of resisting them, just breathe into them. Imagine your breath is a warm, soothing balm. With each inhale, you are bringing compassion to these tense places. With each exhale, you are letting them soften just a little. You are sending a new message to your body, a message that runs deeper than thought. You are whispering to your nervous system, "Thank you for trying to protect me. I see how hard you are working. But right now, in this moment, we are safe. We can breathe. We can let go, just for a little while." This is how the change begins, not by fighting the body's fear, but by meeting it with a profound and gentle reassurance. You are teaching your body, sensation by sensation, that it is possible to be both happy and safe at the very same time. Now, let's turn and face this part of you, the part that orchestrates the sabotage, the part that breaks the beautiful things. For a long time, you have likely seen this part of yourself as an enemy, a flaw, a self-destructive force to be battled, resisted, and hopefully, one day, eradicated. You may have called it your inner critic, your demon, your shadow. You have been at war with it, and this war has been exhausting, and it has never, ever worked. Because you cannot heal a part of yourself by declaring war on it. Tonight, we are calling a truce. We are laying down our weapons. We are inviting this part of you out of the shadows and into a safe, compassionate light. And the first thing we are going to do is give it a new name. We will no longer call it the saboteur. We will call it the protector, because that is what it has been trying to do all along. This protector is not a flaw. It is a deeply ingrained, highly intelligent, protective strategy that you develop to survive. Let that sink in. This part of you that you have hated, that has caused you so much pain, is not evidence of you being broken. It is evidence of your incredible creative resilience. It is a testament to your will to survive. Long ago, in your life, you learned a powerful and painful lesson. You learned that happiness was not safe. Perhaps this lesson came from a childhood where moments of joy were unpredictable and often followed by chaos, anger, or disappointment. A new toy would be broken. A moment of praise would be followed by harsh criticism. A peaceful afternoon would be shattered by a sudden argument. Your young, developing nervous system learned to associate the feeling of joy with the feeling of, oh, something bad is about to happen. Or maybe the lesson came later in life. A relationship that felt like a fairy tale ended in a devastating betrayal. A career you poured your heart into came to an abrupt and painful end. You trusted, and your trust was broken. You opened your heart, and your heart was wounded. Over and over, life may have delivered the same brutal message. The higher you fly, the harder you fall. Be careful. Don't want too much. Don't shine too brightly. It's safer to stay small, to expect little, to keep your hopes in check. And so, a part of you took on the most important job imaginable. It said, I will never let us get hurt like that again. I will be the guardian. I will be the lookout. I will stand at the gate of the heart, and I will protect it at all costs. This protector became a master strategist. It learned your vulnerabilities, your hopes, your deepest desires, not to torment you, but to know where you needed the most protection. When a new love appears, the protector remembers the old heartbreak. It remembers the tears, the sleepless nights, the feeling of being utterly shattered. And it says, no, not again. I will find the flaw in this person. I will create distance. I will end this before we get in too deep, before we give our heart away and risk that agony again. It's not trying to deprive you of love. It's trying to save you from what it perceives as the inevitable pain of love's ending. It is a loyal but misguided guardian. When a new opportunity for success comes along, the protector remembers the shame of a past failure. It remembers the feeling of being seen and judged, of not being good enough. And it says, this is too risky. If we succeed, everyone will be watching us. The pressure will be immense. What if we fail then? The fall will be public and humiliating. It's better to play it safe. Let's procrastinate. Let's convince ourselves we're not ready. Let's stay where we are, where it's less exposed, less dangerous. It's not trying to keep you from your potential. It's trying to shield you from the perceived pain of public failure or the crushing weight of expectation. Can you feel the shift inside you as you think of it this way? The anger, the frustration you felt toward this part of yourself can begin to soften, replaced by a sense of wonder and maybe even a little sadness. Sadness for this part of you that has been working so hard in such isolation for so long. It has been operating from a place of deep fear and profound love for you. Its methods are outdated. Its strategies are destructive. Its vision is limited by the pains of the past. But its motive has always been pure. It is trying to keep you safe. Imagine this protector as a loyal soldier who has been standing guard at a post for decades, long after the war has ended. It doesn't know the war is over. It still sees threats everywhere. It hears the rustle of leaves and thinks it's an approaching enemy. It sees a friendly face and suspects it's a spy. It has been so hyper-vigilant for so long, it has forgotten how to be at peace. Your job is not to fight this soldier. Your job is to go to the guard post, gently, with a warm blanket and a hot cup of tea. Your job is to sit with this soldier and say, thank you. Thank you for your incredible loyalty. Thank you for keeping watch for all these years. But I have news for you. The war is over. We are safe now. You can rest. This is the inner work. This is the path to healing. It is a process of reframing, of building a new relationship with this powerful, protective part of your own psyche. You are not trying to get rid of it. You need its strength, its wisdom, its ability to perceive threats when they are real. You are simply helping it to update its information. You are showing it that the present moment is not the same as the past. You are helping it to differentiate between a real threat and a perceived threat, between the vulnerability that leads to pain and the vulnerability that leads to connection, joy, and growth. As you lie here drifting, just hold this new image of the protector in your mind. See it not as a monster, but as a guardian who is tired, a guardian who is acting out of a deep historical fear. Feel a wave of compassion for it. For the first time, perhaps, see its actions not as a betrayal of your happiness, but as a desperate, misguided attempt to secure your safety. This simple shift in perspective is the most powerful first step you can take. You are moving from a state of inner conflict to a state of inner compassion. And from this place of compassion, everything can begin to change. You are not broken. You are a survivor who developed a powerful coping mechanism that has now outlived its usefulness. And now, you have the wisdom and the strength to teach it a new way. A way to feel safe that doesn't require you to sacrifice your joy. One of the heaviest burdens of this pattern is the profound sense of isolation it creates. In the quiet aftermath of a self-sabotaged good thing, the mind often whispers a particularly cruel story. There is something uniquely wrong with me. Everyone else seems to be able to handle happiness, to build a good life. I am the only one who is fundamentally broken, incapable of accepting joy. This belief is a cage. It locks you into a lonely prison of shame, making it almost impossible to reach out or to believe that change is possible. Tonight, we are going to gently and completely dismantle that cage, because the story your mind is telling you is not true. It is, in fact, the opposite of the truth. This experience, this pattern of pushing away happiness because it feels unsafe, is not a sign of your unique brokenness. It is a sign of your membership in the human family. This is a human story. You are not alone in this, not by a long shot. Right now, in this very moment, all over the world, there are millions of people lying awake, wrestling with this exact same paradox. There are people who have just ended a promising relationship because intimacy felt too terrifying. There are artists who have abandoned their masterpiece just before it was finished because the fear of both success and failure was overwhelming. There are people who have received the promotion they worked for years to achieve, only to find themselves riddled with anxiety and a desperate urge to quit. There are people sitting in beautiful, peaceful homes with loving families who are mentally scanning the horizon for the disaster they are sure is coming. This is not a personal failing. It is a shared human response to living in a world that is, and always has been, unpredictable. Every single person on this planet has experienced pain, loss, and disappointment. No one gets through life unscathed, and as a species, we are wired for survival. Our brains are not designed to make us happy. They are designed to keep us safe. The part of your brain that is responsible for threat detection, the amygdala, is ancient and powerful. It learns from experience, and its primary motto is better safe than sorry. If you have experienced that vulnerability leads to pain, your brain creates a powerful automatic association. It's not a cognitive process, it's a biological one. Your brain, in its infinite and sometimes clumsy wisdom, is just trying to protect the organism. It's trying to protect you. So, when happiness appears, with all of its requisite openness and vulnerability, the alarm bells of this ancient system start ringing. For you, for millions of others, the feeling of joy has become cross-wired with the feeling of imminent danger. Think of all the stories, myths, and superstitions that exist in human culture about happiness. Pride comes before a fall. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. The idea of the evil eye, that showing too much happiness will attract jealousy or bad fortune. These are not modern psychological concepts. They are ancient pieces of collective wisdom, acknowledging the terrifying vulnerability of joy. Our ancestors knew that life was fragile. A good harvest could be wiped out by a flood. A healthy child could be taken by a fever. A time of peace could be shattered by war. The human psyche is steeped in an awareness of the transient nature of good things. So, your personal fear of happiness is not just your fear. You are carrying a piece of a collective ancestral fear. You are part of a long lineage of human beings who have learned to be wary of joy, to hold it lightly, to not get too attached, because loss was, and is, an inevitable part of life. Seeing it this way helps to dissolve the isolating shame. It lifts the burden of personal pathology and places your experience within a much larger, more compassionate context. You are not malfunctioning. You are, in a way, functioning exactly as a human being is designed to function when they have learned that open-heartedness can lead to pain. The problem is not the system itself, but that the system is running on old, outdated information. It is reacting to the ghosts of past dangers instead of the reality of the present moment. And so, the work is not to rip out the system, but to gently update it, to show it that you are in a different time and place now, that you have more resources, more strength, more wisdom than you did when the original wounds occurred. Let this affirmation settle deep into your being, into the places that have felt so alone for so long. Say it to yourself. Feel it in your bones. It makes sense that I learned to shield my heart this way. My feelings are valid. There is no part of your experience that needs to be judged or exiled. It all makes sense. It makes sense that you pull away when someone gets too close, if you learn that closeness leads to abandonment. It makes sense that you downplay your achievements, if you learn that being visible makes you a target for criticism. It makes sense that you can't relax into a moment of peace if your childhood was filled with unpredictable chaos. Your feelings, your fears, and your protective strategies are all valid. They are the logical conclusion to the evidence life has presented you with so far. By validating your own experience, you stop fighting with reality. You stop wasting energy on self-blame and shame. You can take a deep breath and say, okay, this is what I learned. This is the pattern. I see it, and I understand where it came from. And from that place of clear-eyed acceptance, you can begin to ask a new question. Not, what is wrong with me? But, given what I've learned, what new things do I need to learn now? What new evidence can I start gathering to show my protector that the world is, at least sometimes, a safe enough place to receive goodness? Feel the spaciousness that comes with this, the relief of knowing you are not a puzzle to be solved or a problem to be fixed. You are a human being on a journey, carrying a story, and your story is a human story. It is a story of survival, of resilience, and now of a conscious and courageous decision to heal. You are connected to everyone who has ever been afraid to hope. You are connected to everyone who has ever built a wall around their heart to keep it safe. And you are connected to everyone who has ever found the courage to begin taking that wall down, brick by brick. You are not alone. Let the truth of that statement wash over you. a gentle and healing wave, cleansing away the old, isolating layers of shame. You belong. Your story belongs. And your healing journey is part of a collective human journey toward wholeness. Rest in this knowing. Rest in this connection. You are part of something so much bigger than your fear. Now that we have brought so much understanding and compassion to this pattern, we can create a space for something that may have been buried for a very long time. Grief. Grief for what has been lost. Grief for the opportunities, the connections, and the simple moments of peace that were pushed away by the protector in its relentless effort to keep you safe. For so long, you may have focused on the frustration, the anger at yourself, the confusion of the pattern. But underneath all of that, there is a deep well of sadness. The sadness of the heart that longed for connection but was forced into solitude. The sadness of the spirit that yearned to soar but was kept in a cage. Tonight, we give ourselves permission to feel this loss, not to wallow in it, but to finally allow it to move through us, to be acknowledged, and to be released. Let's create a safe internal space for this process. Imagine, within your mind, a quiet, peaceful landscape. It could be a serene beach at twilight, the waves gently lapping at the shore. It might be a silent, mossy forest, with soft light filtering through the ancient trees. Or perhaps it's a simple, cozy room with a warm fireplace. Choose a place that feels utterly safe and private to you. This is your sacred space for healing. No one else can enter here without your permission. In this space, you are completely safe to feel whatever needs to be felt. There is no judgment here, only a gentle, loving presence, which is your own higher self, your own innate wisdom. Now, in this safe space, allow yourself to gently call to mind one of the good things you pushed away. Don't choose the biggest, most traumatic one. Start with something manageable, a friendship that you let wither because you were afraid to be vulnerable, a creative project you abandoned just when it was getting good, a period of calm that you disrupted with needless worry. Just hold the memory of it gently. See the potential it held. Feel the warmth, the spark of joy that it offered. And now, allow yourself to feel the ache of its absence. Feel the loss. What could have been? What beautiful experiences did you deny yourself out of fear? Don't force any emotion. Just create the opening for it. For some, this grief may come as a wave of tears, a releasing of a pressure that has been building behind the eyes for years. If tears come, let them flow. They are not a sign of weakness. They are a sign of healing. They are the body's natural way of releasing old pain. Each tear is a prayer for the part of you that deserved to have that happiness. Each sob is a cleansing of the wound. Let the tears come without a story, without blame. They are just energy, moving, leaving your system. Imagine them as a gentle river, carrying away the old debris of regret and self-criticism, leaving the riverbed clean and clear. For others, the grief may not be tears. It might be a heavy, dense feeling in the chest, a hollow ache in the stomach, a profound sense of tiredness, or it might even be a feeling of numbness, a protective layer that is formed over the raw pain. If you feel numb, that's okay too. Just be with the numbness. Breathe into it. It is also a part of the story. It is the body's way of managing a pain that once felt too overwhelming to feel. Your gentle, compassionate presence is like a warm sun on a frozen landscape. It will slowly, in its own time, begin to melt the ice, allowing the river of feeling to flow once again. There is no rush. The only requirement is a gentle, accepting presence. You are simply bearing witness to your own heart's story. Allow yourself to grieve the lost moments of intimacy. The times you could have let someone in, but instead, you put up a wall. Feel the sadness of the missed connection, the love that was offered but could not be received. Allow yourself to grieve the lost opportunities for growth and success, the chances you didn't take, the risks you avoided, the ways you kept yourself small because you were afraid to shine. Feel the sadness for the potential that was put on hold, the dreams that were deferred out of fear. And perhaps most poignantly, allow yourself to grieve the countless simple moments of peace and joy that were stolen by anxiety. The beautiful sunsets you didn't fully see because you were worrying about tomorrow. The gentle moments of quiet you couldn't enjoy because your mind was racing. The compliments you couldn't absorb. The laughter you couldn't fully surrender to. All of these small, lost moments add up to a life half lived, a feast of experience that you were too afraid to taste. This is not about making you feel bad. It is about honoring the truth of your experience. By allowing this grief, you are finally acknowledging the true cost of this protective pattern. And in doing so, you are generating the powerful, heartfelt motivation needed to change it. You are no longer willing to pay this price. The safety it offered is no longer worth the sacrifice of your aliveness. As you sit with these feelings in your safe internal space, imagine that the gentle river is flowing through you. It is the river of all your unshed tears, all your unexpressed sorrow. See it flowing, cleansing, moving on. It is not drowning you. It is passing through you. You are the riverbank, solid and steady, allowing the water of emotion to flow by. You are not the emotion. You are the witness to the emotion. This distinction is crucial. It allows you to feel deeply without becoming overwhelmed. This process of grieving is a profound act of self-love. You are saying to the hurting parts of yourself, I see you. I feel your pain. I honor your losses. You are no longer alone with this. You are reparenting yourself. You are providing the compassionate presence that you may not have received when the original wounds occurred. You are validating the depth of your own experience. And as the river of grief flows, it begins to slow down. The water becomes clearer. And on the newly cleansed riverbed, something new can begin to grow. By allowing yourself to feel the loss of what was, you create the fertile ground for what can be. You are making space. Space for new choices. Space for new experiences. Space for a happiness that you are finally ready and able to receive and to hold. Let this gentle process continue as you drift. There is nothing to force. Simply hold the intention to release, to grieve, to cleanse. Your subconscious mind will know exactly what to do. It will continue this healing work as you sleep, allowing you to awaken with a little more space in your heart, a little more lightness in your spirit. As the river of grief flows and begins to clear, a heavy stone is revealed on the riverbed. This stone is the burden of self-blame. It is the weight of all the times you have asked yourself, what is wrong with me? It's the shame from every perceived failure, the guilt from every relationship you pushed away, the endless loop of self-criticism that has played in your mind for years, perhaps decades. This stone has been anchoring you to the past, keeping you stuck in the mud of regret, and draining your energy with its immense density. Tonight, with the same gentle intention we have brought to everything else, We are going to lift this stone. We are going to consciously, deliberately lay down the burden of self-blame. Feel the weight of it for a moment, not to torture yourself, but to truly acknowledge what you have been carrying. Feel the physical sensation of this burden. It might feel like a tightness in your chest, a heavy cloak on your shoulders, a knot of lead in your stomach. This is the accumulated energy of every harsh word you have ever said to yourself. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I don't deserve to be happy. I'm broken. These are not just thoughts. They are energetic charges that you have been holding in your body, and they are profoundly heavy. This self-blame is the secondary pain. The initial pain came from the wound, the loss, the fear. But the self-blame is the pain we inflict upon ourselves over and over again, long after the original event has passed. It is the salt we pour into our own wounds. Now, let's remember what we have come to understand. The part of you that acted, the part that sabotaged, the protector, was not acting from a place of malice. It was not trying to hurt you. It was acting from a place of fear, not wisdom. It was using old tools, outdated survival strategies, to try and keep you safe from a pain it believed was unbearable. It was doing the very best it could with the information and resources it had at the time. Can you blame a small child for being afraid of the dark? Can you blame a loyal soldier for standing guard too long? When you see the origin of the pattern not as a flaw, but as a strategy for survival, the logic of self-blame begins to collapse. It simply no longer makes sense. You were only ever trying to survive. Let this affirmation sink into every cell of your being. Breathe it in. You were only ever trying to survive. Feel the truth of it. Every action you have ever taken that you now regret, every choice that led to pain, was, at its core, a desperate attempt to find safety, to avoid pain, or to meet a fundamental need. You were operating from the level of consciousness you had available to you at that time. You didn't know then what you know now. To judge your past self with your present level of awareness is not only unfair, it is illogical. It's like being angry at a child for not knowing how to do calculus. They simply hadn't learned it yet. You simply hadn't learned yet, but you are learning now. And so, we can offer ourselves forgiveness. This is not a passive, intellectual exercise. It is an active, heartfelt release. Let's bring to mind a specific instance where you sabotaged something good. See the scene. Feel the familiar ache of regret. And now, see the version of you in that memory. Look at them, not with criticism, but with the compassionate eyes you have now. See the fear in their eyes. See the tension in their body. See the confusion they were in. And from your heart, from the wise, loving adult you are today, extend a hand to that younger self and say to them, silently or aloud, I forgive you. I forgive you for acting out of fear. I forgive you for not knowing a better way. I forgive you for pushing love away because you were terrified of being hurt. I forgive you for holding yourself back because you were afraid to fail. You were doing the best you could. You were only trying to survive. And I'm here now. I've got you. We are going to learn a new way together. Feel the shift as you do this. Feel the softening, the release. Forgiveness is not about condoning the action. It is about releasing the poison of blame from your own system. It is an act of profound self-love. It is you, finally coming home to yourself, wrapping your arms around all the parts of you that have been exiled in shame, and welcoming them back into the fold. You are becoming your own safe harbor. You are becoming the compassionate parent you always needed. Let's consciously release the physical burden now. Imagine you are standing in that beautiful, clear river. The water is flowing gently around your ankles. In your hands, you are holding that heavy stone of self-blame. Feel its weight, its rough texture. Acknowledge everything it represents: the regrets, the shame, the harsh judgments. Thank it for the lessons it has taught you. And then, when you are ready, simply open your hands. Let it go. Watch as it falls into the water with a soft splash. See it sink to the bottom, and watch as the current of the river begins to wash over it, smoothing its edges, slowly dissolving it, carrying its particles away downstream. It is no longer yours to carry. Feel the lightness in your hands. Feel the release in your arms, in your shoulders, in your entire body. The space that was once occupied by that heavy stone is now filled with a gentle flowing energy. The energy of acceptance, the energy of freedom, the energy of a clean slate. With this release, the question, "What is wrong with me?" dissolves. It is replaced by a new set of questions, born of curiosity and compassion. What do I need? What is this fear trying to tell me? How can I make myself feel safe enough to receive goodness? These are the questions that lead to healing. These are the questions that lead to growth. You can release the blame now. It has served its purpose. It was part of the story that kept you small and stuck. A story that the protector thought was necessary for survival. But you are writing a new story now. A story of wholeness, of integration, of gentle strength. A story where you are the compassionate hero of your own journey, not the villain. As you drift deeper into relaxation, let this feeling of lightness expand. You are unburdened. You are free from the weight of your own judgment. You are floating in a sea of self-acceptance. Every time your mind tries to drift back to an old regret, gently guide it back to this affirmation: I was only ever trying to survive. I can release the blame now. Let this be the mantra that soothes you into sleep. A lullaby of forgiveness for your own beautiful, human, and perfectly imperfect heart. Rest in this freedom. You have earned this peace. Having laid down the heavy burden of blame, we can now approach the protector from a place of genuine openness and curiosity. The war is over. The truce has been called. We are no longer trying to fight it, fix it, or forgive it. We are simply ready to listen. This next step is a gentle conversation, an internal dialogue with the part of you that creates the sabotage. We are not going to argue with it or try to convince it of anything. We are simply going to offer it a safe space to finally speak its truth. Think of it like approaching a small, frightened child who has been hiding in a dark room for a very long time. You wouldn't burst in with bright lights and loud demands. You would approach softly. You would sit on the floor, make yourself small and non-threatening, and you would speak in a gentle, soothing voice. You would wait patiently for the child to feel safe enough to respond. This is the quality of attention we are bringing to our inner world now. Find that quiet, safe place within you again, that peaceful forest, that calm shoreline. And in this safe space, gently invite the protector to show itself. It might appear as an image, a feeling, or just a sensed presence. It might look like a younger version of you. It could be an armored soldier, a scared animal, or simply a tight knot of energy in your body. However it appears is perfect. Just welcome it without judgment. Let it know it is safe here. Let it know you are here not to fight, but to understand. Take a deep, calming breath, and then, from your wise, compassionate adult self, gently ask the question. You can say it silently in your mind. Ask with genuine curiosity, as if you truly don't know the answer. Ask, what are you so afraid will happen if we just let ourselves be happy? And then, you listen. This is the most important part. You don't answer the question with your logical thinking mind. Your thinking mind will say things like, that's irrational, or that won't happen again. That is the voice of the parent who dismisses the child's fear. Instead, you create a deep, profound silence within yourself, and you listen for the answer that comes from a deeper place. Listen for the answer that comes from the body, from the emotions, from the quiet whispers beneath the noise of your thoughts. The answer may not come in words. It might come as a sudden flash of an old memory, a painful image from your past that you had long forgotten. It might come as a raw feeling, a surge of terror, a wave of profound grief, a feeling of utter powerlessness. It might be a physical sensation, like a clenching in your gut or a lump in your throat. Whatever the answer is, your only job is to receive it without judgment. Just witness it. If the answer is, they will leave us, just like someone else left you long ago, you don't argue and say, no, this person is different. You simply receive the fear. You say, I understand. You're afraid they will leave. You're trying to protect us from that terrible pain of abandonment again. Thank you for showing me that. If the answer is a feeling of dread, the sense that a catastrophe will strike, you don't dismiss it as anxiety. You acknowledge it. I see. You are convinced that something terrible will happen to shatter this peace, just like it has before. You're trying to keep us braced for impact. I understand. If the answer is, we don't deserve this, you don't counter it with affirmations of your worth. You hear the deep, painful belief underneath. You say, I hear that. You learned somewhere along the way that you weren't worthy of good things. You're trying to keep us from the shame of having something good and then having it taken away, proving that belief right. Thank you for protecting us from that shame. This is a radical act of inner listening. You are validating the fear without validating the conclusion. You are not agreeing that the catastrophe will happen. You are agreeing that the fear of the catastrophe is real, valid, and present within you. This is what the frightened child, the loyal soldier, has been waiting for all along. To be seen, to be heard, to have its experience acknowledged as real. This simple act of compassionate listening begins to soothe the nervous system in a way that nothing else can. The protector, which has been screaming its warnings through acts of sabotage, can finally begin to lower its voice, because it feels it is finally being heard. Now, after you have listened and acknowledged its fear, you can offer it reassurance. Not logical arguments, but gentle, heartfelt comfort, just as you would to that frightened child. You can say, I know you are scared. I feel it. And I want to thank you for working so hard to protect us for all these years. But I am here now. I am the adult. I am older and stronger than we were when those old hurts happened. I have resources now that we didn't have then. I can handle things. You don't have to carry this burden all by yourself anymore. You can offer it a new job. Your job of breaking things is over. You can retire from that role. I would like to offer you a new job now. Your new job is to help me notice when I am feeling vulnerable. Your sensitivity is a gift. You can be my gentle alarm system, not a loud fire siren. When you feel that old fear rising, you don't have to pull the emergency brake. You can just gently tap me on the shoulder and say, "Hey, we're feeling a little scared right now. Let's be gentle with ourselves." And I promise, when you do that, I will listen. I will slow down. I will breathe. I will check in and see if the threat is real or if it is just a ghost from the past. We will be a team. This is not a one-time conversation. It is the beginning of a new, ongoing relationship. It is a practice of turning inward with kindness whenever you feel the old urge to sabotage rising up. Instead of fighting the urge, you get curious. You ask, "Hello, protector. I feel you. What are you afraid of right now?" You listen. You validate. You reassure. You are slowly, gently, patiently retraining your own nervous system. You are building a new neural pathway, one of compassionate self-dialogue. With every repetition of this inner conversation, the old reactive pathway of sabotage gets weaker, and this new responsive pathway of self-compassion gets stronger. As you drift towards sleep, just hold this gentle intention in your heart. The intention to listen to your own fear with the ears of a loving friend. To offer comfort to the parts of you that are hurting. To build a team within yourself where every part has a voice and every part is honored. There is no enemy within. There is only a family of different parts, all wanting your survival and your well-being. And you, the wise and compassionate adult, are finally ready to lead this family with love. Through our gentle conversation with the protector, we've come to understand that its core fear revolves around a specific definition of happiness. To the protector, happiness is a fragile, fleeting high. It's the peak of the mountain, a precarious place where the view is beautiful, but the winds are treacherous, and the fall is long and dangerous. It's a soap bubble, shimmering and perfect for a moment, but destined to pop. It's a state of exception, a temporary deviation from the normal baseline of struggle or mere survival. As long as we hold this definition of happiness, the protector's fear makes perfect sense. Of course, it would try to pull us down from a dangerous peak. Of course, it would want to pop the bubble itself, rather than wait for it to burst unexpectedly. To heal, we don't just need to reassure the fear. We need to fundamentally redefine the thing it is afraid of. We need to shift our entire perspective of what happiness is. Let's introduce a new possibility, a new way of seeing. What if true, sustainable happiness is not a peak at all? What if it is not a fragile bubble? What if instead, happiness is a safe harbor? Imagine a ship that has been tossed about on a stormy sea. The winds are howling. The waves are crashing over the deck. This is the state of anxiety, of striving, of struggle. The ship's captain is constantly vigilant, steering, fighting the elements. It's exhausting. The old idea of happiness might be a brief, thrilling moment of surfing a giant wave perfectly. It's exhilarating, but it's still part of the storm, and it's inherently unstable. The new idea of happiness, the one we are cultivating now, is the feeling of steering that ship into a calm, protected bay. The waters are still. The wind dies down to a gentle breeze. The ship can drop its anchor, and for the first time in a long time, the captain can rest. The engine can go quiet. The struggle is over. This kind of happiness is not a high. It is a deep, grounding calm. It's not about excitement. It's about peace. It's not about having everything perfect. It's about feeling safe and centered, even when the world outside the harbor is still stormy. This is a happiness that the protector can learn to trust. It is not a threat. It is the very definition of safety. It is the end of the war it has been fighting for so long. Let this new image settle into your body. Feel the difference. The old happiness was a tension in the chest, a breathless climb. This new happiness is a deep, full exhale. It's the feeling of your shoulders dropping. It's the sensation of your feet planted firmly on the ground. It is the quiet hum of well-being, not the frantic buzz of excitement. Let's use another analogy. Visualize the ocean. The surface of the ocean is constantly changing. Sometimes it's wild and chaotic with massive waves. Sometimes it's choppy and unsettled. And sometimes it's as smooth as glass. The old definition of happiness was fixated on the surface. It was the desperate attempt to have only the smooth, glassy days. But this is impossible, and the fear of the inevitable waves is constant. The new definition of joy has nothing to do with the surface. True, abiding happiness is the deep, peaceful ocean beneath the waves. 10, 50, 100 feet down, the ocean is always calm. It is silent, powerful, and utterly undisturbed by the temporary weather on the surface. The storms can rage above, the waves can crash, but the deep ocean remains in a state of profound peace. This is the happiness we are cultivating. It is a peace that exists within you, an anchor in your own depths that is not dependent on external circumstances. You can be experiencing challenges on the surface of your life, a difficult day at work, a health concern, a relationship issue, and still be connected to this deep, underlying calm. This joy is not fragile. It cannot be taken away by a sudden change in the weather. It is your inherent state of being, the peaceful core of your own awareness. By shifting your focus from the surface to the depths, you are no longer at the mercy of life's inevitable storms. You find your safety within, not without. This fundamentally changes the game for the protector. Its job is no longer to control the weather on the surface, an impossible and exhausting task. Its new job is simply to help you remember the path to the depths, to help you drop your anchor into that inner stillness whenever the surface gets rough. This introduces the revolutionary possibility that you can be both happy and safe at the same time. In fact, it suggests that this deep, calm happiness is the only true safety. The frantic chase for the highs of excitement and perfection was never safe. It was a state of constant vulnerability. The quiet contentment of the safe harbor, the deep peace of the ocean depths. This is a home base, a sanctuary. It is a state of being that recharges you, that nourishes you, that makes you more resilient to handle the surface storms when they come. Let's practice feeling into this right now. As you lie here, bring your awareness away from the surface of your thoughts, the worries, the plans. Let them be like waves on the surface, and allow your attention to sink down through your chest, through your stomach, into the very core of your being. Find the place within you that is utterly still. It is always there, beneath the noise. It might feel like a quiet warmth, a gentle hum, or just a sense of profound stillness. This is your safe harbor. This is your inner ocean. Just rest here for a moment. Feel the peace of this place. This is happiness. It's not loud. It's not flashy. It is the simple, profound, and deeply safe feeling of coming home to yourself. When you redefine happiness in this way, you can begin to welcome it into your life without fear. You can receive a compliment and let it land in this quiet, deep place where it doesn't inflate your ego, but simply adds to the warmth. You can achieve a success and feel not the frantic pressure to maintain it, but a quiet, grounded sense of satisfaction. You can experience a moment of love not as a terrifying vulnerability, but as two ships resting peacefully, side by side, in the same safe harbor. This is the new agreement you offer to your protector. We are no longer chasing the waves, you tell it. We are learning to live in the deep. And here, in the deep, we are always, always safe. Let this new definition seep into your subconscious as you fall asleep, rewriting the old code that equated joy with danger. You are teaching your entire system a new truth, that peace is not the absence of life's challenges, but the presence of a deep and unshakable connection to your own inner sanctuary. Beneath all the layers we have explored, the patterns of sabotage, the physical reactions, the protector's fear, and even our definitions of happiness, lies a foundational belief, a cornerstone upon which the entire structure of self-sabotage is built. It is the quiet, pervasive, and often unconscious belief that you are not truly worthy of goodness. It's the feeling that happiness, love, and success are for other people, people who are somehow better, more deserving, more whole than you are. When a good thing comes into your life, this core belief gets triggered, creating a profound sense of inner dissonance. It feels like a mistake, in cosmic error. This can't be for me, the belief whispers. I don't deserve this. It's only a matter of time before the universe realizes its mistake and takes it back. And so, the protector, hearing this fundamental insecurity, steps in to correct the error itself, to restore the familiar equilibrium of not having, of not being enough. It pushes the good thing away to prove the unworthy story right. Tonight, we are going to journey to the very foundation of your being, to a place that exists before that story was ever written. We are going to remember a truth that has been obscured, but never, ever lost. You were born worthy. Your worth is not something you have to earn or prove. It is not contingent on your achievements or your failures. It is not dependent on how you look, how much you have, or who loves you. It is your inherent nature. It is the simple, unshakable fact of your existence. Think of a newborn baby. Does a baby have to do anything to be worthy of love, care, and nourishment? Of course not. Its worth is absolute, simply because it exists. It is a miracle of life, a unique expression of the universe. You were that baby. You are still, at your core, that miracle. Somewhere along the way, you started to receive messages from the world that your worth was conditional. You learned that you were good when you were quiet, or smart, or successful. You were bad when you were messy, or loud, or made a mistake. You began to internalize these conditions, to build a sense of self based on external validation. You started to believe that your worth was something you had to perform, to achieve, to constantly maintain. And because performance is always imperfect, you began to accumulate evidence for your own unworthiness. But this entire structure of conditional worth is a fiction. It is a story, a powerful and persuasive one, but a story nonetheless. Your inherent worth is like the sun. The story of your unworthiness is like the clouds. On some days, the clouds are so thick and dark that you can't see the sun at all. You might even forget it's there. You might believe the gray, cloudy sky is the only reality. But the sun has not gone anywhere. It is always there, shining in its full, unconditional brilliance, patiently waiting for the clouds to pass. Your work is not to create the sun. Your work is to remember that it is there and to stop identifying with the clouds. The clouds are the stories of your past, the criticisms you internalized, the mistakes you made. They are not you. You are the sun. You are the sky. You are the vast, open awareness in which the clouds of thought and feeling simply pass through. Let's feel into this truth right now. Let your awareness travel deep within your body, past the tension, past the fear. Find a place in the center of your chest, behind your heart. This is often called the heart center. Imagine in this space a small, warm, and radiant light. This light has always been there. It was there on the day you were born. This light is the physical sensation of your own inherent worth. It is the spark of the universe that lives within you. It is pure, untouchable, and eternal. It has never been damaged by any experience you have had. It has never been diminished by any mistake you have made. It has never been tarnished by anyone's judgment of you. It is perfect, whole, and complete right now, exactly as you are. Just rest your attention on this light. You don't have to do anything to it. Simply observe it. Feel its warmth. Notice its gentle, steady pulse. As you breathe in, imagine you are breathing into this light, helping it to grow a little brighter, a little warmer. As you breathe out, imagine this light is expanding, its gentle radiance filling your entire chest, melting away any tightness or constriction. Feel this light of your own worth expanding down into your stomach, soothing the knots of anxiety. Feel it flowing up into your throat, dissolving the lump of unspoken grief. Feel it moving into your head, quieting the voice of the inner critic with its gentle, loving hum. Feel it radiating out through your arms and legs, filling your entire body with a quiet, powerful sense of your own intrinsic goodness. You don't need to believe you are worthy. You just need to feel this light. This light is the truth that exists beyond belief. This is the unshakable foundation you can build your new life upon. When you are rooted in this felt sense of your own worth, the entire dynamic of self-sabotage changes. When a good thing comes into your life, it no longer feels like a mistake. It feels like a match. It feels natural. Of course, you would receive this love. You are inherently lovable. Of course, this opportunity would come to you. You are inherently capable and deserving of success. Of course, you would experience this peace. Your true nature is peace itself. The dissonance is gone. The good thing is not a foreign object that needs to be rejected. It is a reflection of the goodness that already exists within you. Let this affirmation settle into the light within you, not as a mental concept, but as a deep, resonant truth. My worth is not something I have to earn or prove. It simply is. From this place, you can look upon your protector with even deeper compassion. You can understand that its frantic efforts to push away happiness were all based on a false premise, the premise of your unworthiness. It was trying to protect you from the perceived shame of being found out. You can now reassure it on the deepest level possible. You can show it this light. You can say to it, "Look, see this? This is who we really are. We are not flawed or broken. We are whole. We don't need to fear being found out because our true self is pure light. We don't need to push away goodness anymore because goodness is our birthright. This is the ultimate healing. It is the homecoming. It is the remembrance of the magnificent, worthy, and beautiful soul that you have always been and will always be. As you drift into sleep, let your awareness rest in this warm, radiant light at the center of your being. Let it be your anchor, your sanctuary, your truth. The clouds may come and go, but you know the sun is always shining. Rest in your own light. You are home. Now that we are more deeply connected to our inherent worth, we can turn to face a surprising and profound truth. It takes immense strength to hold what is good. We often think of strength as the ability to endure hardship, to fight battles, to overcome obstacles, and that is one kind of strength. But there is another kind of strength, a quieter, more vulnerable, and in many ways, more courageous kind. It is the strength to receive. It is the strength to be open. It is the strength to hold on to joy, to allow ourselves to be nourished by love, and to inhabit our own success with grace, especially when every conditioned nerve ending is screaming that it is unsafe to do so. Acknowledging this reframes the entire journey. You are not weak because you have pushed happiness away. On the contrary, you have been avoiding it because receiving it requires a kind of emotional and energetic strength that you may not have known you possessed, or that you were never taught how to cultivate. Think about it physically. When you are bracing for impact, your muscles are tight, your body is contracted and rigid. This is the posture of the protector. It is a posture of defense. It takes a certain kind of strength, a hard, brittle strength, to maintain this tension. But what does it take to consciously relax those muscles, to soften the body, to open the chest in a situation that feels threatening? That takes a different, deeper kind of strength. It is the strength of vulnerability, the courage to trust that you can handle whatever comes. It is the strength not to resist, but to allow. Holding on to joy is an act of allowing. It requires you to keep your heart open, even when the old fears of loss and betrayal are whispering in your ear. It requires you to stay present in the moment, even when the mind wants to jump into the future to scan for potential dangers. It requires you to tolerate the exquisitely uncomfortable sensation of pure vulnerability. This is the profound courage it takes to receive and hold on to joy when you've been conditioned to reject it. It is an act of gentle defiance against the old programming. Every moment that you choose to stay with a good feeling, every second you allow a compliment to land, every breath you take while fully inhabiting a peaceful state, you are building a new kind of muscle. You are strengthening your capacity for happiness. Let's practice this right now in a very gentle and manageable way. Let this be a training ground for your nervous system. As you lie here in this state of deep relaxation, I want you to call to mind a small, simple, good thing. It could be a genuine compliment someone gave you recently. It could be the feeling of satisfaction after completing a small task well. It could be the memory of a warm hug, the taste of a delicious meal, or the beauty of a flower you saw today. Choose something small and uncomplicated, something that doesn't have a lot of emotional charge around it. Now, hold that small, good thing in your mind and in your body. Don't just think about it, feel it. If it was a compliment, don't just remember the words. Feel the warmth that spread through your chest when you heard them. If it was a satisfying task, feel the quiet hum of competence in your hands and in your gut. If it was a beautiful flower, let the memory of its color and form fill your inner vision. Your first instinct, the old habit, might be to immediately dismiss it, downplay it, or move on to the next thought. Notice that urge. See the protector rising up to say, "Don't focus on that, it's not important," or "It was just a fluke." Gently thank the protector for its concern, and then consciously, with gentle intention, choose to stay with the good feeling, just for a few seconds longer than is comfortable. This is the workout. This is where you build the strength. As you hold the good feeling, breathe into it. Imagine your breath is fanning the small ember of that positive feeling, helping it to glow a little brighter. Notice what happens in your body. You might feel a subtle resistance, a tightening. That's the old pattern. Just breathe into that tightness with compassion. You are not trying to force it to go away. You are simply choosing to stay present with the good feeling anyway. You are showing your nervous system that you can tolerate this. You can handle this blessing. With each breath, you are expanding your window of tolerance for positivity. You are literally rewiring your brain to be able to hold and sustain positive emotional states for longer periods of time. Let's affirm this new strength. Let this be your mantra as you practice. You are strong enough to handle the blessing of happiness. Feel the truth of this statement. It reframes vulnerability, not as weakness, but as the ultimate expression of strength. It takes incredible strength to let someone see you, to let love in, to stand in the spotlight of your own success. It is the strength of a mighty oak tree, which is strong not because it is rigid, but because it can bend with the wind without breaking. Your capacity to feel joy, to be open, to receive, is your flexibility. It is your resilience. The old, rigid posture of the protector was brittle. It was always in danger of shattering. This new, open posture is supple and alive. When you think of it this way, you can start to see every day as a series of opportunities to practice this new strength. When someone offers you help, your practice is to simply say, "Thank you," and receive it. Instead of insisting you can do it all yourself. When you achieve something, your practice is to pause for 30 seconds and let the feeling of accomplishment actually land in your body instead of immediately moving on to the next goal. When a moment of unexpected peace descends on your day, your practice is to stop. Take 3 conscious breaths and drink it in, instead of filling the silence with distraction. These are not small things. These are the daily reps that build the muscle of receiving. They are profound acts of healing and transformation, disguised as simple moments of presence. You are learning to nourish yourself. For so long, you may have been living in a state of emotional starvation, pushing away the very nourishment you craved because you were afraid of it. Now, you are learning to sit at the banquet of life and allow yourself to be fed. You are strong enough. You have survived everything life has thrown at you up to this point. You have endured the pain, the loss, the fear. You have the strength of a survivor. And now, you are discovering that this same strength, when softened and opened, can be used not just to survive, but to thrive. It can be used to build, to connect, to receive, and to flourish. Let this feeling of quiet, courageous strength fill you as you drift off to sleep. A strength that is not about fighting, but about opening. A strength that is not about armor, but about a resilient and open heart. You are strong enough to hold all the love all the joy and all the peace that is meant for you. Rest in that power. It is your true nature. We have journeyed far. We have named the pattern, understood its origins in the body and mind, reframed the saboteur as a protector, and connected with our inherent worth and strength. We have done the foundational work of understanding, compassion, and release. Now, we arrive at a pivotal moment, a moment of conscious integration. It is time to move from understanding the past to actively co-creating a new future. It is time to forge a new inner agreement, a sacred internal pact between your conscious self, the wise, adult you who is guiding this journey, and the protective part that has been working so hard for so long. This is not a negotiation where one side wins and the other loses. This is a collaboration, a uniting of forces, a creation of a powerful inner team dedicated to your wholeness and well-being. Let's return to that safe inner sanctuary, that quiet place where you have met with your protector before. Go there now in your imagination. Settle into the peace and safety of this inner landscape. Gently, lovingly, invite the protector to join you. See it, feel it, or sense its presence. By now, it may already feel different. Less armored perhaps, less fearful. It has been seen, heard, and validated. It has been acknowledged for its loyal service. It is ready for a new way. See yourself as your wise adult self, sitting down with this part of you. There is no tension between you. There is only mutual respect and a shared desire for peace. You, the conscious self, will speak first. You will make a solemn promise, a vow to this protective part. From your heart, you say, I agree to stay present. I promise that when good things happen, I will not check out. I will not numb myself, and I will not abandon you to your fear. I will stay here with you in the present moment. I will breathe with you. I will feel the sensations in my body, and I will meet them with compassion. You will not be alone with the vulnerability anymore. Take a moment to feel the power of this promise. It is a commitment to end the habit of self-abandonment, which is the core of the trauma. You are vowing to be the steadfast, loving parent to your own inner child. Then you make the second part of your promise. I agree to honor your fears. I will never again dismiss them as irrational or silly. I recognize that your fear is a signal, a memory of a past pain. When you tap me on the shoulder with that feeling of anxiety, I promise to listen. I will pause. I will ask you, what are you afraid of right now? I will hear your answer without judgment. We will look at the situation together, you and I, and we will distinguish between the ghosts of the past and the reality of the present. I will not let your fear drive the car, but I will always give it a respectful seat and a voice in our counsel. Feel the relief that this promise brings to your inner system. The protector is no longer a lone alarmist, but a valued team member whose wisdom is respected. Finally, you state your intention, your side of the new agreement. And as I honor you and stay present with you, I will also consciously choose happiness, one moment at a time. I will choose to receive the compliment. I will choose to savor the moment of peace. I will choose to let the love in. I will do this gently, slowly, at a pace we can both handle. But I want you to know that the direction we are heading in now is toward joy, not away from it. I will be the one to lead us there, and I promise I will keep us safe. Now, it is the protector's turn. Having received these profound promises, it is now able to make its own. You can feel its response, a deep softening, a letting go. The protector agrees to a new role. First, it agrees to trust you. It agrees to begin to trust that you, the adult, have the capacity, the strength, and the resources to handle life. It agrees to let you take the lead. It makes a vow to start releasing its hyper-vigilant grip on the controls, trusting that you are a capable and wise guide. This is a huge step. It is the beginning of a profound inner rebalancing of power, from fear-based survival to wisdom-based thriving. Second, the protector agrees to rest. Imagine it physically laying down its heavy armor, piece by piece. The helmet of worry, the breastplate of cynicism, the shield of emotional distance. It has been on duty for so long. It is so tired. It agrees to accept that the war is over and that it can finally stand down. It can rest in the safe harbor you have created within. It can trust that you will keep watch now, not with fear, but with loving awareness. And finally, the protector agrees to learn new ways of feeling safe. It agrees to be open to the evidence that vulnerability does not always lead to pain. It agrees to participate in the small, daily practices of receiving goodness. It agrees to learn that the feeling of a calm, open heart is a new kind of safety, a more resilient and nourishing safety than the old, brittle armor could ever provide. It agrees to evolve. This new, sacred agreement is now forged. It is not just a mental exercise. It is an energetic shift that has taken place at the deepest level of your being. The inner civil war has ended. Your internal resources, which were once locked in a draining battle against each other, are now united, flowing in the same direction. Feel the sense of peace and wholeness that this brings. Feel the quiet power of this inner alignment. This is integration. This is coming home to yourself. This pact is not something you do once and then forget. It is a living agreement that you will renew every day through your choices and your inner dialogue. Every time you feel the old fear and you choose to meet it with compassionate curiosity, you are honoring the pact. Every time you consciously choose to stay with a good feeling, you are honoring the pact. Every time you speak to yourself with kindness instead of blame, you are honoring the pact. This is the practice of living a healed life, not a life free from fear, but a life where fear is no longer in charge. A life where all parts of you are welcomed, honored, and working together toward the light. As you drift into the deep, restorative state of sleep, let this new inner agreement be the blueprint that your subconscious mind works with. Your entire being is now reorganizing itself around this new principle of inner unity and self-compassion. The old programs are being overwritten. The new pathways are being strengthened. You are healing at a cellular level. Rest now in the peace of this inner treaty. You are whole. You are united. You are free. With this new inner agreement in place, a deep sense of peace settles within you. The inner landscape is calm. The team is united. Now, we can begin to gently turn our awareness toward the future, not with anxiety, but with a quiet, creative intention. We are not going to make grand plans or set ambitious goals. That can sometimes activate the old fears of failure. Instead, we are going to do something much simpler, softer, and more powerful. We are going to plant a single, tiny seed for tomorrow. We are going to gently prime your subconscious mind, your body, and your energy field to be more receptive to the goodness that is already waiting for you. This is the subtle art of allowing, practiced in advance. As you continue to float in this deeply relaxed state, let your mind drift gently toward your day tomorrow. Don't think about your to-do list. or any challenges you might face. Just imagine the flow of the day, from waking up to going to bed. See it as a gentle stream of moments. Now, within that stream of moments, I want you to visualize one small, simple instance of goodness. It doesn't have to be anything dramatic. It could be the feeling of the warm sun on your face as you step outside in the morning. It could be the first sip of your favorite coffee or tea, that moment of pure sensory pleasure. Perhaps it's a moment of connection, a genuine smile exchanged with a stranger, or a short, warm conversation with a colleague. It might be the satisfaction of hearing a song you love on the radio, or it could simply be a moment of quiet, a few minutes between tasks where you just look out the window and breathe. Find one small, highly probable moment of goodness that is likely to occur in your day tomorrow. Once you have this moment in your mind, let's bring it to life. Don't just see it, experience it with all your senses. If it's the sun on your face, feel its warmth on your skin. If it's the sip of coffee, imagine the aroma, the warmth of the mug in your hands, the rich taste. If it's a moment of connection, feel the warmth in your own chest as you share that smile. Make the experience as vivid and as real as you can in your imagination. Your brain and your nervous system do not know the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. By doing this, you are creating a memory of a future event. You are laying down a neural pathway for it in advance. Now, here is the most important part of the practice. As you are imagining this beautiful, simple moment, I want you to imagine yourself simply allowing it to be there. Imagine yourself receiving it, fully and without resistance. In this visualization, there is no inner critic whispering that it won't last. There is no protector tightening your chest in anticipation of danger. There is no urge to dismiss it or downplay it. There is just you, present, open, and receiving this small, simple gift from life. Imagine yourself breathing into the good feeling. Inhale the warmth of the sun, the taste of the coffee, the feeling of connection. As you exhale, imagine yourself letting go of any tension, any fear, any resistance. You are just there, in the moment, letting the goodness land. You are letting it nourish you. Feel the sensation of this gentle allowance in your body. It is a feeling of softening, of opening, of spaciousness. It is the opposite of the contraction and tension of the old pattern. This is the physical posture of receiving. By practicing it in your imagination, you are making it more familiar to your body. You are teaching your nervous system that this open, receptive state is safe. You are creating a new default pathway so that when the actual moment arrives tomorrow, your body will already recognize it. It will already have a memory of how to respond with openness instead of fear. It will be more inclined to soften and receive because it has already rehearsed doing so in the safety of this deep meditative state. Let this feeling of gentle allowance settle deep into your subconscious. It is a powerful instruction. You are not commanding yourself to be happy. You are simply setting the intention to be open. You are setting the intention to allow. This takes all the pressure off. You don't have to make happiness happen. You just have to get out of its way. You just have to learn how to stop pushing it away. This small act of pre-paving your day with an intention of receptivity is a profound act of co-creation. You are communicating to your deeper self and to the universe that you are ready. You are ready to receive. You are now available for blessings, both large and small. You can do this with any moment. As you get better at it, you can plant several of these seeds throughout your day. A seed for a moment of focus and flow at work. A seed for a moment of patient listening with your partner or child. A seed for a moment of gratitude before you eat a meal. You are consciously weaving a thread of presence and receptivity through the fabric of your coming day. You are becoming an active and gentle gardener of your own experience. The old pattern was like living in a garden and constantly pulling up the flowers because you were afraid they would wilt. This new practice is about consciously planting seeds, watering them with your attention, and then simply allowing them to bloom in their own time. As you continue to drift towards sleep, let go of the specific visualization now. Just hold the feeling. Hold the feeling of gentle allowance. Let it be the emotional and energetic keynote of your being as you rest. It is a quiet hum of openness, a soft readiness to receive. This feeling will permeate your sleep, informing the restorative processes that happen in your mind and body overnight. You are programming yourself for peace. You are programming yourself for receptivity. You will awaken tomorrow, not with a sense of dread or a need to be on guard, but with a subtle, underlying sense of curiosity and openness. You will be more likely to notice the goodness, and when you notice it, you will be more able to simply let it in. This is how change happens, not through a monumental struggle, but through a series of small, gentle, and consistent choices to be open. One breath, one moment, one simple act of allowance at a time. Rest now, gardener. The seeds have been planted. Let the quiet magic of the night do the rest. And so, you begin to drift. The words now become slower, more spacious, like gentle ripples spreading across a perfectly still lake. There is no more work to do, no more concepts to understand. The time for exploration and discovery is gently coming to a close, and the time for deep, profound rest is beginning. All the insights, all the new understandings are now settling deep within you, not as thoughts, but as a new, quiet knowing, a feeling, a resonance. Allow my voice to be a soft, steady anchor, guiding you into an ever-deepening calm, a calm of profound and gentle acceptance. The core message, the central truth of our entire journey tonight, now echoes softly in the vast, quiet space of your being. Listen to it, not with your ears, but with your heart. Listen with your body. It is safe to be happy. Feel those words as a gentle vibration, a soothing hum that resonates through every cell. It is safe to be happy. Feel the truth of this, washing over the old fear. The tightness in your chest softens just a little more as it hears this truth. The knot in your stomach gently loosens its grip as it absorbs this new reality. The watchtower of your mind, so used to scanning for danger, begins to dim its searchlight, trusting that all is well. It is safe to receive. It is safe to open. It is safe to rest in the harbor of your own heart. You deserve to keep what is good. Let that phrase be like a gentle, warm rain, washing away any lingering traces of the old story of unworthiness. You deserve to keep what is good. Feel this deserving, not as a reward you have earned, but as your natural birthright. A simple, undeniable fact of your existence. You deserve the love that is offered. You deserve the success that you create. You deserve the peace that is your true nature. Feel the part of you that has been pushing goodness away. Finally, give a deep sigh of relief. Its long, arduous job is over. it can finally trust that you are worthy, that you are capable, that you are strong enough to hold the blessings meant for you. You deserve to keep what is good. All mental effort is now released. You are letting go of everything. You are no longer trying to understand, no longer trying to heal, no longer trying to do anything at all. You are simply allowing your body to feel the truth of these words, allowing your mind to become quiet, vast, and clear, like a wide open sky at midnight. The thoughts that drift through are like distant, silent stars. You notice them, but you do not follow them. You just rest in the vastness, the quiet, peaceful emptiness. The gentle repetition of these core truths is like a lullaby for your nervous system, a soothing song that tells the oldest, most frightened parts of you that they are finally, completely safe. It is safe to be happy. You deserve to keep what is good. It is safe to let go now. Let go of the day. Let go of all your worries. Let go of the need to control anything. You are floating, weightless, in a warm sea of peace, supported completely, held in a gentle, loving embrace by the universe itself. There is nothing for you to do but be here and breathe, each breath drawing you deeper and deeper into the state of profound calm. The inhale, a gentle wave of peace. The exhale, a complete release of all that is old, all that is heavy. Your body knows how to heal. Your subconscious mind knows how to integrate. As you drift on the edge of sleep, this deep healing continues, effortlessly, automatically. The new agreements are being written into your very being. The new pathways are being paved. You are transforming in your rest. You are becoming in your stillness. The person who awakens tomorrow will be subtly, yet profoundly, different. A little more open, a little more trusting, a little more able to allow the quiet joy of a simple moment to land and to nourish their soul. It is safe to be happy. You deserve to keep what is good. Just allow your body to feel the truth of these words. Release all resistance. Release all doubt. Let these simple, powerful truths be the final thoughts that accompany you as you cross the gentle threshold into the restorative sanctuary of deep sleep. Everything is okay. Everything is unfolding perfectly. Rest now, deeply, peacefully, completely. As the final veils of wakefulness begin to dissolve, we arrive at the softest edge of awareness, a place of quiet mystery. What is this life, this strange and beautiful journey of healing? We come into this world as pure potential, open and receptive. And then life happens. We learn to build walls to protect our tender hearts. We learn that love can hurt, that trust can be broken, that joy can be fleeting. And so we create these intricate strategies, these loyal protectors, these patterns of sabotage, all in a desperate and loving attempt to never feel that original pain again. Is this a mistake? Or is it simply the way a soul learns? Perhaps the closing of the heart is not a tragedy, but a necessary part of the curriculum. Perhaps we must forget our own worthiness in order to experience the profound grace of remembering it. Perhaps the journey isn't about never having built the walls, but about the sacred and courageous act of taking them down, brick by painful brick, and discovering the unshakable strength of the open heart they were built to protect. What if the saboteur was never an enemy, but a guide in disguise? A fierce and loving teacher pointing us directly to the places within us that are most in need of our own compassion. Every time it acted up, every time it broke something beautiful, it was simply crying out, "Look here. There is a wound here that has not been healed. There is a terrified child here who needs your love." Without this guide, we might have gone on for years, living on the surface, never knowing the deep, transformative work that was waiting for us in our own depths. And so, as you drift into the final moments of consciousness, perhaps you can feel a strange and quiet sense of gratitude for the very pattern that has caused you so much pain. Gratitude for its wisdom. Gratitude for the path it has illuminated. Gratitude for leading you, finally, back home to yourself. The journey from self-sabotage to self-acceptance is the great human pilgrimage. It is the path from fear to love. Not a love that is naive or blind to the world's sorrows, but a wise, resilient love that has been tested in the fires of its own fear and has emerged softer, stronger, and more true. Now, the time for even the gentlest of thoughts is over. All that is left is the descent, a gentle countdown into the deepest peace. 5. Feeling a wave of profound heaviness beginning in your feet. Your feet and ankles are so heavy, so deeply relaxed, sinking down into the surface that supports them. 4. This wave of soothing heaviness moves up into your legs, your knees, your thighs, all tension dissolving, melting away as your legs become wonderfully heavy, wonderfully still. 3. The wave of deep relaxation fills your torso, your hips, your stomach, your chest. Your entire body is letting go now, sinking deeper and deeper into a state of perfect rest. Your breathing is slow and rhythmic, like the gentle tide of a calm sea. 2. The heaviness flows into your arms, your hands, and up into your shoulders. The weight of the world you have been carrying on your shoulders simply melts away. You feel so light and so heavy, all at the same time, floating in a deep, peaceful ocean of calm. And 1. The wave of relaxation moves into your neck, your jaw, and all the tiny muscles of your face. Your entire being is now completely and profoundly at ease. You're on the very edge of sleep, safe, peaceful, whole. Sleep is coming now, natural and easy, a peaceful end to a day of healing. Rest now. You have earned this peace.